Earth, the Moon, and Sun, billions of years have in particular orbit. The Earth around the Sun and the Moon around the Earth. Now, in their orbits, occasionally come in and block each other's views. And then when that happens, a spectacular view inhabitant of this planet. Now, since the Moon blocks the light of the Sun, it comes in between Earth and Sun. This is called a solar eclipse, and we will talk about it at another time. But an eclipse is when the Earth blocks the light from the Sun reaching the Moon. Basically, it comes in between the Moon and the Sun, or the Moon passes through the shadow of the Earth. Now, because of the tilt of the Moon's orbit, this doesn't happen every full moon. This doesn't happen every month. That when the light is blocked by the Earth, but in complete shadow, when the Moon happens, is light from the Sun. Most of it is blocked by Earth, but some of it scatters as it passes through the atmosphere of the Earth. The thin atmosphere scatters the light, and that reaches the Moon. And the light provides this hue of reddish color. Now, lunar eclipse is a time where you can just go out and look up at the night sky. You do not need a binocular or a telescope or any aid to do it between Earth and
a live stream where you will be seeing the eclipse moon. But wait, where is the moon? Certainly not it. So let's head over to our guests, which we've gathered from different parts of the country of Pakistan. We also have guests from different parts of the world with us here. But let's head over to a couple of people who have set up it. People now join in, and if we can see the views that they have from their cities. Remember, there was a whole day filled with clouds, filled with rain in some part of the country here in Pakistan, but now things are starting to clear up. So we have with us Dr. Farooq Shahzad from Islamabad. Dr. Sahab, if I can request you to please turn on your video, or if you can screen share the live views of the moon. Welcome to the live stream, Dr. Farooq.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। ये
वालेकुम सलाम।
जी ये मैंने अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ, आपके पास आई है?
नहीं डॉक्टर फारूक, अभी नहीं आई हमारे पास।
अच्छा, ये देखिए।
Yes.
आगे
आप लोग देखें तो you can see के
Now we can
half
see
moon
it.
covered हो चुका है,
इसमें
और the remaining half if you focus तो इसमें already एक brown coppery
अभी
tint आ
आपको
रही है।
नजर आ रहा है?
जैसे जैसे ये completely cover होगा उस तरह आपको ज्यादा redishness
जी
नजर आएगी।
डॉक्टर फारूक, वी कैन सी इट, लेकिन पीछे शोर आ रहा है थोड़ा सा,
Pale
तो आपकी
actually
आवाज
जी
नहीं आ रही।
असल में वो
इतना dark है moon और
पीछे वो announcement हो रही है.
on the lower
Just wait for it.
हमें
So the
6 cards से eclipse नजर
Yeah,
आएगा.
also, Dr. Farooq, is
जी.
it possible that you can maybe switch over to full screen if you double click on the view?
मैं इसको जी डबल इसको करते हैं जी.
नहीं, double click कर दें on the black screen, so that will take you to the full screen mode. On the moon.
हाँ जी.
There you go. Wonderful.
अभी इसको मैं थोड़ा सा और कर देता हूँ, एक सेकंड.
So let me preface this, Dr. Farooq. We have a very general audience where we're also expecting participants from other countries. So our medium of communication will generally be English with a little sort of like flavor of Urdu every once in a while.
Okay. So
All right. This
now,
is wonderful. So, Dr. Farooq, if you can tell us what we're looking at.
yeah, we are looking at the eclipsed moon. You see, almost more than two-thirds of the moon is now eclipsed. The shadow of the Earth is falling on the moon, so it's we can see it as in the moon is behind some dark space, some dark object. It's not for the time being. It's not the total eclipse. It's a partial eclipse just now.
Right. Amazing view. I mean, you can see the shadow of Earth, which is the curved shadow that's falling on the moon. और बहुत खूबसूरत लग रहा है. So this is amazing जी. हमारे YouTube के ऊपर लोग जो हमें देख रहे हैं, प्लीज फील फ्री कि आप कमेंट्स में, चैट में सवाल कर सकते हैं डॉक्टर फरूक से and anybody else who joins the live stream. This is the moon from Islamabad. Thank you, Dr. Farooq. We will switch back over to other views as well. तो आप प्लीज हमारे साथ रहिएगा until 11 p.m.
जी.
Thank you. All right. So अब मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ जी the view that is visible from Lahore. I'll just quickly take us to the moon as seen from Lahore. All right. You can now if I can request Roshan Nadeem to also please see to it that the mics are muted. Thank you. All right. So this is the eclipse happening in Lahore. This is in Pakistan, and you can now start to see the red part, sort of like a dark, misty red color appear on this darker side of the moon. I have increased the brightness to such an extent that the brighter part of the moon is totally overexposed, but you can still see the red glow starting to appear now. We'll move on to another city. This is again in Pakistan, and we now have with us Mr. Nasir Khan, who joins us from Quetta. So Nasir, if you're able to hear me, तो आप प्लीज बताइए और अपनी स्क्रीन भी हम आपकी स्क्रीन को भी यहाँ पर फुल स्क्रीन करते हैं. हेलो नासिर, आपको आवाज आ रही है? कैन यू प्लीज अनम्यूट योर माइक?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी, हाँ आवाज आ रही है.
वालेकुम सलाम. नासिर, कैन यू प्लीज टेल अस आप कहाँ पे हैं एंड व्हाट आर वी लुकिंग एट?
I am in Quetta City, Saryab Road. We are looking the moon eclipse.
Wonderful. Nasir, can you also please try to maybe adjust the focus? I think the moon looks a little bit out of focus. But while you do that, we have connected with different astronomers, different enthusiasts, different people from around Pakistan, around South Asia, and around the global South in general. And so you will be seeing different views from different cities as we move along with this live stream. We have this view from Quetta city. The skies have been very clear in Quetta. तो नासिर, कोयटा से थोड़ा सा बता रहे हैं कि वहाँ के लोग क्या एक्लिप्स देख रहे हैं आपके आसपास या अभी आप अकेले देख रहे हैं?
मैं और मेरा भाई है.
चले, wonderful. That's great. Good to have it. Nasir, thank you. आप हमारे साथ रहिएगा. We'll keep coming back to different people who are in the stream. We'll move on now to another one of our friends who joins us from the city of Peshawar in Pakistan. So this is Mr. Rahat Badshah. Rahat joins us from
Assalamu alaikum,
Peshawar,
sir.
Peshawar Astronomical Society. Walaikum salam, Rahat. Can you please share the sights of the moon also?
Thank you so much, sir, for participating. And we have on live sessions. Yes, we are from Peshawar, and I'm basically representing the Peshawar Astronomer Society, which is actually the branch of Space Academy of Karachi. And actually, we today organized initially a lecture on total lunar eclipse, and then we have question answer session, and then we capture the total lunar eclipse, and now we will show you that. तो आप लोग भी सर देख सकते हो कि वो किस तरह नज़र आ रही है। अभी जो है सर पार्शली सोलर इक्लिप्स जो है वो नज़र आ रही है, और हम आपको सर पिक्चर शेयर करते हैं उसकी। ये
जी बिल्कुल, आप राहत आप बताइए कि विल यू बी स्क्रीन शेयरिंग या आप वीडियो पर लगाएंगे उसको?
यस सर, मैं
again
शेयर
बता
कर रहा हूँ। मैं अगर
जी राहत, गो अहेड।
यस सर, आई डोंट नो कि मैं स्क्रीन आपके साथ कैमरा कैसे शेयर
आपकी
करूँ।
स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है, जूम नजर आ रहा है उसके ऊपर।
ये यस सर, मैं
ये
अगर
जो
कैमरा
हम
शेयर
देखना चाहते हैं।
यस सर, अगर हम पिक्चर भेज दे सर अपनी यहाँ से जो हम ऑब्जर्वेशंस करवा रहे हैं सर आपको।
चलें, हम आपके पास अभी थोड़ी देर तक दोबारा आते हैं। लेट्स हेड ओवर बैक टू नासिर खान, जो हमारे पास हैं कोयटा से। तो लेट्स हेड ओवर टू देम। तो ये हमारे पास अभी जो व्यू है वो फिर से नासिर खान के पास आ गई है। नासिर खान, आप कोयटा से देख रहे हैं, हम चांद के लाल सा रंग देख सकते हैं नासिर। तो कैन यू ऑल्सो सी दैट रेड कलर थ्रू योर आई, आपने जब आंख से चांद को देखा है?
यस यस सर, आँख से जो नज़ारा हमें दिखता है वो बहुत ही अलग होता है। अगर हम कैमरे की बात करें वो डिफरेंट हमें नज़र आता है, लेकिन अल्लाह ने जो हमें आंखें दी है उससे जो नज़ारा हमें देखने को मिलता है वो बिल्कुल अलग ही होता है।
इनक्रेडिबल, थैंक यू। आप हमारे साथ ही रहिएगा। रोशान नदीम, हु इज पार्ट ऑफ आवर टीम हेयर एट कायनात स्टूडियोज, डू वी हैव एनी कमेंट्स, एनी क्वेश्चंस दैट यू लाइक टू शेयर विद अस?
Yes, absolutely. People are quite enthusiastically commenting in our live stream. And Eddie Loves Medina asks how it gets read. The scientific logic in simple words, please.
Oh, that's a great question. So, thank you for that question. ये किन्होंने पूछा? Who has asked this?
This has been asked by Eddie Loves Medina.
All right. So, the moon is actually inside the Earth's shadow right now. It's actually going inside the Earth's shadow as we speak. And I'm just gonna change the view to the one that we have in Lahore. Thank you, Nasir. Please again stay with us, and we'll keep coming back to you. So, to answer this question, I'd like to share my screen here, which shows the moon's view as seen from Lahore. Now, you can see the questioner that the shadow of the Earth is falling on the moon. Now, that should mean that the light of the sun that falls on the moon should no longer hit the moon. Therefore, the moon should completely disappear in the night sky, because Earth has blocked the sunlight from falling on the moon. But there is still some light, some sunlight that manages to go through the Earth's atmosphere and end up on the moon. And that most of that light that ends up going through the atmosphere is red light, which you're seeing here in this beautiful color, in this shade of red on the dark side of the moon. Now, there are going to be videos that we're going to show you during this live stream for everybody here, for parents, for adults, for kids, for young adults. Our first video will be played at about 10:30 p.m. during this live stream. You can see and probably check out and learn what causes a lunar eclipse. So, back to our beautiful view of the moon. Roshan, Nadeem, do we have any other questions, any other interesting comments?
Yes. So, so we've been requested to show a better view, something with a better resolution and better focus. So I think we should switch to Nasir's view was very good. So I think if we could show that view once again.
All right, so we are going to be showing another view of the moon based on our request. Also, we are welcoming Nasir, who joins us from the city of Attock in Pakistan. Welcome, Nasir.
Good to be here, and thanks for having me here. हम अटक में हैं इस वक्त, and we're doing live observation here. Got two telescopes here and a couple of cameras. मैं अभी जा रहा हूँ वहाँ पे telescope में. I'll show you कि हम अटक से कैसा eclipse देख रहे हैं. So give me a minute.
Absolutely, Nasir. Please take your time while we switch over to the earlier view that we have of the moon here. I'd also like to request Dr. Farooq, if Dr. Farooq, you are still with us, so if you can also share your screen and let us see what the eclipse looks like right now. By the way, this is again a very nice view that we're looking at from Quetta. I'm going to be spotlighting that here. Now you can really appreciate. Nasir, this is some excellent viewing. Nasir Khan, this looks really good, and we can really appreciate the red color of the moon here. And for all the viewers here, you can see the red color was quite visible in Nasir's feed. Now we're going to be heading back over to our friends in Islamabad in Pakistan, who will be sharing their view of the eclipse. Thank you, Dr. Nasir. I'm sorry, Dr. Farooq, can you please also maybe increase the exposure or increase the brightness? Maybe we can see that redness on the moon. So these are again cameras attached to telescopes, and this is how people usually generate these views. Remember, these are some telescopes are small, some are medium sized, so the image quality can vary. But now look at this view, this beautiful view. Dr. Farooq, this is a fantastic view right now. This is incredible. Very nice view here from Islamabad. Dr. Farooq, would you like to comment on this?
Actually, when you increase the brightness, so the areas that are dark, they get a red shadow, and the rest of the area is overexposed. So
Absolutely.
it seems that the light is spilling over.
Absolutely. We can really see
just
almost the copper color, and that is why people call it the blood
Yes.
moon or sometimes the copper moon.
Yes.
You can really see the colors of sunlight, which are filtered through the Earth's atmosphere falling on the moon here.
So this is really the blood moon that you are seeing.
Yes, incredible.
And
Very nice.
in a few moments, it will be completely dark or completely red.
Exactly, and we also encourage everybody here, if you're here watching this live stream, please go out and take a look at the eclipse from your own eyes. It doesn't. It's very safe. इसका कोई नुकसान नहीं है. Just go out, look at the moon, enjoy. There is no harm in doing that. So
अभी हमारे
this is
पास इस
something that
वक्त जो है ना
happens.
कम से कम 100 बच्चे और यानी जो है ना बड़े हैं जो कि ये जो यानी बराह रास्त देख रहे हैं यहाँ से इस्लामाबाद से.
Amazing. So
हमारे
low,
आसपास
100.
जी
Wow.
almost 100.
Incredible. And so, till how long do you expect to keep this running in Islamabad if there are people who want to join you in Islamabad?
Yeah, we intend to continue it till 11:30, at least till 11:30.
Great. Wonderful. Dr. Farooq, this is some textbook visuals right here. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So again, I'll request you to please kindly, if you can stay back while we engage with other people who are joining from across the country and across the globe. All right, I'll request if Nasir Khan. So Nasir Khan is again, Nasir is from Quetta. He's actually using his own hands to hold the camera in his hands, and then that camera is attached to a telescope. So you can see, you saw his view a couple of minutes ago. We're going to now go back to our views that we were seeing from Lahore. Meanwhile, do we have any more questions, Roshan Nadeem, that we can maybe address here?
Yes, absolutely. We have a question from Sang Logic. Is there any formula to calculate and predict the lunar eclipse?
Yes, there is. So there are calculations that people have done for at least a couple of hundreds or maybe even thousands of years. These are called the Saros or Metonic cycles, where people have figured out that after about 18 or 19 years, eclipses occur in the same place in the sky at the same time. So based on that, they can actually predict eclipses that are happening across different locations and different times of the year. However, remember, eclipses always come in pairs. So this lunar eclipse will be followed by a solar eclipse, but that solar eclipse will not be visible from Pakistan or South Asia or India. Here's another view of the eclipse from Lahore. This is again from a smart telescope. Nowadays we have these smart telescopes that can do all the hard work for you. And so I will try to increase the brightness here, as we saw in another camera feed. So these are some controls that you can see. I can change the exposure settings, and we can really bring out that red portion of the moon here in this image. We can really crank up the amount of brightness that we want to see here. Remember, we're also seeing through a lot of clouds. So a lot of our viewers out there across South Asia, across different countries of the world, they are struggling with clouds tonight. So please give that a little thought and try to enjoy the views that you're seeing here. And also I encourage, again, please go outside, take a good view of the lunar eclipse, and don't just rely on this live stream, although you should definitely share this live stream with your friends. All right.
So we have another question. And this is from Iraj Adib. And it says, when was the last total lunar eclipse and when will the next happen?
So I can speak for the South Asian region. I think the last total one was in 2018. So that makes it 7 years ago. So yeah, that was 7 years ago. And so there was another one in 2022 also, which was 3 years ago. So the next one, to see which eclipses are visible, are going to be visible in different parts of the world, and when, you can actually go to a website that's very useful. It's called Time and Date. The website is called Time and Date, without any spaces.com. So timeanddate.com will tell you where the next eclipse is. Also check out our website, the eclipse in our sharedsky.com, and that'll tell you a lot of details about this particular eclipse. Now let's switch over to our wide angle camera. Now this is the camera, this is the view that is what your eye would see if you were here in Lahore. Now I've really increased the exposure here to show you how dim the moon appears in the sky right now, and this is certainly not a very pleasing view. So therefore I have moved on to this particular view. You can really see how diminished the light is because of clouds outside. That's why we have to go to different cities and see what other people are trying to show us. All right. So while we wait for other people to join in, and while we maybe even see what the moon will look like when it's totally under the eclipse, let's check out a couple of interesting pieces of information from one of the videos by Kainaat Studios on what is an eclipse. Now, let me tell you, once you come back from this video, the moon would be under total lunar eclipse. So you need to stay on this eclipse live stream and stay tuned, and let's check out that video from Kainaat Kids English.
For thousands of years, people have looked up and wondered why the moon sometimes disappears. Tonight, we follow one such story from ancient China behind this spectacular event, the lunar eclipse. In old Chinese tales, there was Tiangong. Some said it was fierce, a shadow hound from the underworld. Others believed it was a divine guardian. One night, leapt at the sky, bit the moon entirely, spread. The bureaucracy informed the emperor. Drums rang some ritual in which banged pots, lit firecrackers, and shouted rhymes to drive the dog away. This commotion scared Tiangong into releasing the moon and fleeing. Upon the return of the moon's glow in the night sky, the people rejoiced with happiness, playing music in the streets. Whether Tiangong was a thief or a protector, the story reminded everyone that the skies were alive with mystery.
Today we know that the lunar eclipse is not caused by a celestial dog, but by shadows and sunlight. The sun is our main source of light. It shines onto the moon, which we see because it reflects that light. The earth, sitting between the sun and the moon, casts its shadow into the space. Most of the time, the moon's orbit with respect to the Earth-Sun plane is slightly tilted, so it passes above or below the shadow. But once in a while, it lines up perfectly, and that's when the moon drifts into the Earth's shadow. This is lunar eclipse. And unlike a solar eclipse, completely to watch it with naked eyes. No special glass needed. Just find a dark spot and look up. During a total lunar bend, the trick is in the red glow on the surface. If you'd like to know why the red glow happens, check out our other video, Why is the Moon Turned Red?, where we explore these dazzling phenomena in detail. So mind
with their camera
and everything.
Great. So, were you able to take a couple of pictures? Would you like to maybe even show those pictures
Let
through
me
the
show you the
viewfinder?
pictures that I've taken so far, right? But now it's getting challenging because it's very dark and it's not easy to focus and get the red moon. But I've
No, but we can really see the eclipse really prominent. So that's great. And so, how many people would you think there are around this area looking at the eclipse right now?
right now, let me count. There are photographers around me, right? So I think there's a one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I think around 50 people around me. And this is
Amazing.
my
Great.
daughter, Suraya. Suraya, say hi.
Hello, Surya. Hello. Good to have you on this live stream. Thank you.
Yes. And there are some other people who don't want to be on the
Oh,
live
no, that's
show,
absolutely
right? Okay,
understandable.
right.
That's
Chale,
great, Umar.
back
Thank you
to
so
me,
much.
right? Let me
Exactly.
switch it back. How to switch it back? There's one thing. Yeah. Here
While
it
you
is.
figure that out, the entire South Asia in general, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all of our friends there who were supposed to be a part of this live stream, it was so cloudy that they couldn't join it in time for showing views of the moon. But the good thing is, at the very last moment, and this is something we were sharing in this live stream earlier, the clouds parted ways and they made way for the eclipse moon. So we now have live stream different people from different cities who are now sharing their live stream, their views of the moon in this live stream.
And you
So
can
thank
see
you,
it from
Umar.
Lahore as well. Lahore is clear too.
Well, I am actually looking at the moon through my telescope from here in Lahore, but it has now gotten cloudy. It was clearer earlier, but we
Sure.
cannot see the moon now. So from Lahore.
But it right now it is very dark. You can barely see it. You can only see the right limb lightly because it has just gone into the umbra. But apart from that, and there's a thin layer of clouds as well, patchy clouds here, and more clouds are coming in, which is bad news. You can see. Let me show you the clouds again. See these clouds?
Yeah.
All these clouds are coming in. As soon as we had totality, the clouds are here as well. And they're in big number actually. I think it's going to be overcast now. But anyway, that's what it is.
That is what it is exactly. Again, thank you very much Umar, for joining in from all the way from Qatar, and we'll be switching back over to a lot of other people in Pakistan. But if you're able to maybe stay around until about 20 minutes later, we
So I'll
can come
just
back.
place it here. I'm just going to place it on the stand so it's on.
Thank you.
And I'm around as well, right?
Thank you. So again, this is for everybody else in the live stream to also appreciate how difficult it could be. It can be to look at the moon, the full moon, which is like the brightest part of the entire lunar cycle. It's almost hard to see the moon when it's under the Earth's shadow. So that's how dark lunar eclipses can get. I'm going to head over to my co-host Roshana Team if there are any comments, questions that we need to address.
Yes. So we have some comments. They're sharing their experiences of the moon. Everyone is watching wherever they can. So Sang Logic says solar eclipses are more fun and impactful. And so Cuddle Palette is asking which camera are you using? So anything regarding that?
Okay. Well, let's maybe check with uh, our friend here, Umar. If you can hear us, Umar Aziz Saab, Would you like to talk about what camera you're using and what cameras are good for taking pictures of the lunar eclipse?
I'm using my camera. It's GFX 100. It's a medium format camera, and it's with a 250 lens with a telephoto adapter. So on a medium format, it's like 325 and it's now I have to take pictures in manual mode because it is very dark. Right? So I'm trying to do it with 2 seconds and with f4.5, but still, a tripod is not very good. I should have bought another tripod because it's shaky and it's not easy to get the picture right now. So I'm trying to change my lens to a 2.8 lens, which is smaller, but it will be quicker, right? So I'm going to change my lens to 2.8. That's the camera that I. But any DSLR is good enough right now, right? I think
Any
smaller the better
DSLR?
because it's lighter, right?
Yeah, and so nowadays we have very fancy mobile phone cameras as well with 100x zoom and everything. So maybe those folks who want to show off their smartphone camera capabilities, now's the time. So thank you, Umar, again. We'll head over to Nasir Khan from Quetta, who has a very dark red view of the moon ready for us. Nasir? So Nasir, if you're able to hear us, if you can maybe. Nasir, the Nasir's call just dropped. No worries. We'll check out the moon's views. Just a quick glimpse, if Dr. Farooq from Islamabad, if you can hear us, Dr. Farooq, if you can briefly show us how the total lunar eclipse now looks like from your camera, and then we'll head over to another video that we want to show you. So do we have Dr. Farooq Shahzad with us from Islamabad? If not, then we can head back over to Nasir Khan from Quetta, take a quick look at the moon from Quetta, and then we'll head over to our Kainaat Kids video. I'm sorry, our another video regarding the eclipse from Kainaat Studios. Nasir, can you hear us now?
जी हाँ, आवाज आ रहा है आप लोगों का।
ग्रेट नासिर, थैंक यू। हम देख सकते हैं कि चांद तो बहुत ज़्यादा डार्क हो गया है।
जी हाँ, यहाँ से आंखों से भी नज़र आ रहा है, बिल्कुल डार्क हो चुका है। और कैमरे के तो वैसे भी आईएसओ यहाँ से कंट्रोल नहीं हो सकता, इसी वजह से इधर भी इसी तरह नज़र आ रहा है।
ठीक है नासिर, थैंक यू। आप हमारे साथ ही रहिएगा। आपसे स्ट्रीम के एंड पे दोबारा हम रब्ता करेंगे। एंड वी नाउ हैव the total lunar eclipse view from Islamabad again by Dr. Farooq. Dr. Farooq, this looks absolutely stunning.
It's almost complete total eclipse, and you see the moon has turned red or orange red, almost all of it.
We can absolutely see that color. And can you confirm that this is exactly the color that you can also see with your naked eye?
Yes, this is exactly the color. But with the naked eye, it's almost dark, and with this camera, it's the colors is really very nice.
Amazing, amazing, Dr. Farooq. You can almost tell the part of the moon which is the darkest. That's almost northwest here. You can see almost around 11 o'clock. So that's the closest part of the moon to the exact center of the Earth's umbra.
Yes, and you can also see all the features of the moon. That's the most amazing part of it.
So this is like a personal request, Dr. Farooq. Would it be possible to maybe zoom in even digitally? Can you like slightly zoom into the moon? And
yes, I will try.
So a lot of people generally want to really zoom in because that's what telescopes do, right? But again, no pressure. If this is max zoom, we totally understand.
Just give me a minute, second. Actually,
So that's all right. I think this is quite a
There is
decent view.
something with
Yeah.
this screen sharing.
That's all right. That's all right, Dr. Farooq. This is a fantastic view. We'll just head over to one of our videos. This is for grown-ups, produced by Kainaat Studios on what is
Now-
an eclipse. There you go.
Now you can
There
see
you
it.
go. Let's,
Now you can see the zoomed up view.
absolutely. We can see a very nicely zoomed in moon, eclipsed moon. So unbelievable colors right there. So thank you, Dr. Farooq. Thank you again for this fantastic view. We'll come back to you very shortly after this video. Thank you.
The Earth, the Moon, and the Sun, for billions of years, have been locked in particular orbits. The Earth around the Sun, and the Moon around the Earth. Now, in their orbits, occasionally they come in and block each other's views. And then when that happens, oftentimes it provides a spectacular view for the inhabitants of. Now, the moon blocks the light from the sun. Basically, it comes in between the earth and the sun. This is called a solar eclipse, and we will talk about it another time. A lunar is when the earth blocks the light from the sun reaching the moon. Basically, it comes in between the moon and the sun, or the moon passes through shadow. Now, because of the tilt of the orbit, that happens every full moon. This is done every month. You expect that when or you're in shadow passing through that, you will be able to see the moon. Instead, the sun, most of it is bright, but some of it gets scatters as it passes through the atmosphere of the earth. The thin atmosphere scatters the light, and that reaches the moon. And the light reaches the moon process is huge. Now, lunar eclipse is a time where you can just go out and look up at the night sky. You do not need a binocular or a telescope or any aid to see the moon. It is not this. You just go out, look up, and appreciate the dance between Earth, the Sun, and the Moon.
Bangladesh. We have Mr. Hassan Mahmood Sajif. I'm sorry, Sajib. So Hassan Mahmood Sajib, if you can please hear me, you can maybe unmute your microphone, and if you can also turn on your camera so that everybody can hear you.
Thanks for inviting
Thank
me.
you. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to share a live view of the moon along with our chat. So, listen again, thank you for joining. How are things in Bangladesh in terms of the sky conditions? Are people looking at the eclipse?
The sky is quite clear, and basically the cloud we can see here is the lower clouds, the nimbus and stratus, and yeah, the eclipse is clearly visible, and I mean the moon is reddish here, like you are projecting in the screen.
Absolutely. These views are from Lahore and Lahore, Pakistan. And so I was trying to, get my camera to go to as long of an exposure as the machine will offer. And you can see all the settings are on high, all the exposure times are on max. And even then, we can barely see the moon because it's been so cloudy all day long. But thank you. And so do you also plan on having those public outreach sessions anywhere in Bangladesh, so people maybe if they're listening to us right now, they can go over to those events? Hassan, your mic is on mute.
Yeah, I was muted.
All right, Hassan. So again, as you said, this the evening has been filled with clouds, but now we can from Lahore we can barely make out the moon here. So Hassan, are there any public events happening in Bangladesh where people can go out and see the moon through a telescope?
Yeah, there are some organizations like Bangladesh Astronomical Association. They are holding some events here in Chittagong, where I'm from, and I have some of my friends here. We have come to a field. This is an open field here, and we are just lying on the grass and looking at the sky.
Well, in astronomy, that's one of the best things that you can do. Just lie down and just keep looking up at the sky for anything else that's happening. So again, thank you so much, Hassan, for joining in. If you can maybe stay back for a couple of minutes while we hop over to other friends here. So while we wait for other people to join in, Roshan Nadeem, if you have any questions.
Live on Facebook or something like YouTube or somewhere.
Yeah, Hassan, my co-host will share our YouTube live streaming link with you here in the chat shortly.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you for joining in. Our live stream continues. We do have other people who have better views of the eclipse than what I just shared with you here from Lahore. Nasir Khan has been holding up his camera to his telescope for quite some time now. Nasir, thank you. We can now see your view of the moon. I can see it is barely visible. So Nasir Khan, if you can maybe continue showing your video. I think the moon just looks absolutely enigmatic with just a sliver of red visible here.
The phone I'm using, it's not quite good for. Let's check it out.
Well, so that's again, that's absolutely all right, because the moon is actually very dim, and our smartphones are not really meant to capture such a dim or faint light. But it does look really mysterious in that view, Nasser. So thank you for that. We are adding more friends to this live stream, more people from different countries, and we'll be shortly introducing them to you. All right, and if you again have any questions, any comments, any burning questions that you want our guests to answer, you can also point your questions towards certain guests that you see here in the meeting. So, Roshan Nadeem, do we have any other comments or questions?
We don't really have questions, but Kashif Amin from Karachi says, thanks for organizing something for nature.
Oh, no, thank you. I think we should all thank nature for having this show go on for billions of years, and only now we have the technological capacity to view them through this medium. All right, so is it time for another video? Is it time for a quick video? And after that video, we'll come back with a very interesting set of guests who would like to really engage with you, and you can really ask them questions. These are guests that are joining in from different countries, who are joining in from African countries, from Japan, from different parts of the world. So maybe we can play our next video, and we'll see you after that.
In the old stories of the Nai Nai Kung Bushman, a great lion walks not on the land but among the stars. One night, while hunting, the lion grew hungry, looked down upon the moon, bright and bold in the night sky, and decided to pounce. With one massive paw, the lion reached out and covered the moon, hiding its light so it could stalk its prey without being seen. Below, The people noticed. They knew the moon's light kept them safe. Without danger would creep closer. So they stomp, they shake the ground, and they went to the sky. The lion roared, the noise grew louder and louder until it lifted its paw. The moon the line, not silk. April, as started by the great lion, and blushed with fright.
Today, we know the moon doesn't turn red because of a lion, but it has to do more with sunlight, shadows, and our own atmosphere. Now, as we know, sunlight is made up of many different colors: reds, blues, greens, oranges, yellows, violet, indigo. Now, as the earth lies between the sun and the moon during a total lunar eclipse, some of the light passes through the earth's atmosphere. Now, this light is spread all colors in the sunlight, only shades of red and some yellows. They end up passing through the atmosphere, falling onto the surface of the moon, give it a deep red, rusty, copper, crimson color. From the paw of the great star lion to the bending of sunlight through our atmosphere, the moon's red glow reminds us of the connection between the magic of storytelling and the wonder of science. And it helps us appreciate our moon that we can see easily in our shared sky. If you'd like to know more about how eclipses happen and what is a lunar eclipse, head over to our other video that's titled "What is a Lunar Eclipse?" Welcome back to the live stream. I hope you liked the video. Did you check out the subscribe button? Maybe you should subscribe. So our friend will share the link to our YouTube channel in the chat. Please consider subscribing. These are some interesting resources. I would subscribe. Have you? All right. Let's head over to our friend from Karachi. We have Dr. Salman Hamid with us. Dr. Salman, if you'd like to unmute your microphone and join us.
Hello, everyone. This is a dramatic view. It looks like I am also being eclipsed, but that's okay. That's a part of the thing. So I'll be close to the sun. All right. So, can you guys see me? All right. Oh, this is my problem. Let me. I think if one of you can cancel this, I don't know how this happened. Yeah, there you go. All right. So, welcome everyone. First of all, thank you so much for people for joining and sharing the night sky, the red moon. I'm in Karachi right now, and we did not have a clear sky. And so that was a big problem. That's why I'm in this sort of darker space. But it's actually wonderful to have this experience of shared sky. So everyone from Bangladesh to sort of several places in Pakistan to Kenya and to everyone, that has been an amazing experience. But now what I would like to do is to welcome a few people for coming from different parts of the world, including from International Astronomical Union. Ramasamy is here, Venugopal from South Africa, and other people will be joining. So what I would like to do is if we can just give us a few seconds for everybody else to join in. We are a few minutes ahead of time. But our main point of doing this live feed, one of them was that, well, there can be cloudy at some places, so you can see the eclipse of somebody else. Second thing is, look at the partnerships around the world. This actually is an important thing, and it's an important thing to have various connections across astronomers and people around the world. So that's actually a really one of our goals. If you haven't checked out, please check out our website, eclipseinoursharedsky.com. And we tried to create a resource website, not just about this eclipse, but in fact about upcoming eclipses as well, and also as a place where people from other places also can connect together. And so, Roshan, if we can check if our other guests are here as well, and then I will sort of introduce other people and ask them to say a few words about our shared sky.
Absolutely. So we have Brian Mara with us. We have Prajwal Shastri with us. We also have Kelly Blumenthal and Hajra Salman, Kevin Govinder. We have our friends with us here in this chat.
All right. So, well, that's actually really good. So, what I would like to do is for people who don't know, International Astronomical Union is the largest astronomical body in the world. And if you have any questions, or if you want to name something, the only people who have the authority to do that properly are the folks from International Astronomical Union. So what I use the principle is that be nice to them, okay? Otherwise, you will not get your name on a comet or an asteroid or something like that. But we have a couple of people, Ramasamy, as I mentioned, Venugopal, and Kevin. I think Kevin is still there. I do not.
Joyful.
Okay. And so they are from, oh, Joyful is here. Joyful is here. Okay, all right. And Joyful, and they are from the International Astronomical Union Office for Astronomy for Development. And so what I would like them to do is they are coming from South Africa. And if you can say a few words about your office and also about the efforts to think about the moon in a shared sky and also think about the moon. So anything, it's a very informal thing. We are starting to build up this type of thing. So you have been working on it. So can you guys say a few words about that?
Sure. Thank you, Salman, for inviting us. And hello to everyone online and as well watching around the world. So it's actually, this eclipse turned out to be a much bigger deal than I initially imagined, because lunar eclipses, you don't think, oh, it happens all the time, people are not going to be excited. But I was just now driving here in Cape Town and I saw so many people parked at the beach. There's hundreds of cars and people are stopping while they're driving to see the moon, which is not very safe, but people are so excited here. And I myself just came from watching the eclipse outside. It's really cold, so I couldn't stay outside for too long. But yeah, we're here. Thanks for inviting us. So the IAU, as you said, is a global professional body for astronomy, and one of the things the IAU does is naming astronomical bodies and safeguarding astronomy, making sure future generations can participate in this field of astronomy and exploring the universe. Our office deals in particular with the application of astronomy to society. How can we translate all the research and the infrastructure and tools of astronomy into benefits for society? So we have a whole program geared towards that, lots of different ways that astronomy is contributing to society. But about your particular question, thinking about the moon, we haven't really played an active role as the International Astronomical Union. I think we are part of the UN COPUOS. I see that Kelly is here from the IAU as well, and of course Joyful from the OED. But as far as I'm aware, the issue with treating moon as the common heritage of humanity has always been that of enforcement. Everybody on a theoretical level has agreed to share the moon for common humanity and for the prosperity of all. But as we know, that's the issues that some countries can go to the moon and exploit it for their own purposes, for commercial purposes. And we don't have, unfortunately, a strong enough legal framework to tell countries or companies that they can't do that. Yeah, so let me just stop there and maybe ask Joyful if she wants to say something as well.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here today. Actually, I was just thinking when we were speaking about our shared common humanity, and one of our flagship projects actually focuses under the theme of using astronomy as a tool for science for diplomacy through astronomy, and then we celebrate our common humanity. And I mean, like, for example, tonight we have 6 billion people looking at the exact same moon at the same time, despite the fact that we're all at different places, at the different parts of the world. We have this one common object that we can like all look at. So this is something where I just think this is one way of actually also seeing how astronomy unites people. Because everyone on my social media today, everyone's just talking about the lunar eclipse. I'm actually shocked that a lot of people were asking me from my family and friends, they're like, is this happening because I happen to be in the space of astronomy? And I'm like, yes, it is. And it's just like, normally we don't talk about what astronomy is, but today there's so many people that I didn't even know that they enjoyed astronomy, that are like following what's happening. So it could potentially be used as something that unites people. And with such events that happen, we could also like use this to sort of kind of drive towards some sort of action. Like if we want to send a message, this would be an ideal way because people are really like interested in the lunar eclipse. So how do we then sort of kind of like communicate something beyond just enjoying the night sky and also looking at a special event? So yeah, it's just been really nice seeing how much interest is actually going on in terms of enjoying this lunar eclipse today.
Well, thank you so much. And we are trying to get the sort of like pinning from me to the speaker. So let's see if it works, because I don't want to be highlighted, but like, but anyway, technical glitches. This is again one of those things that we are trying to do this across continents.
I think you can have multiple spotlights. So the
Well,
host can actually
okay.
make multiple spotlights.
There you go. So now I want to move to Kelly Blumenthal, who's here from Tokyo. So again, like, it's actually important to highlight from the various places we are coming in. And she's the director of the International Astronomical Union Office of Astronomy Outreach. I have to sort of like, get the articles right. From South Asia, we always have trouble with our articles. We think those are not that important, or we put in the wrong ones. So, and also I should mention, it's pretty late for Kelly. So thank you so much for coming in and joining us. And so if you can say a little bit about IAUOAO and a little bit about A Shared Sky.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's really a big pleasure to be here and to be part of this, and to have the opportunity to be awake at this time and actually see the eclipse in real time through my screen, because unfortunately I think the moon is going to set in a couple hours, so I can't really see it at the moment. But I really love this initiative for a number of reasons. I think, I've been following some of the videos that you've been posting online, Salman, about your Chai on the Moon series. I think that's really, really fascinating, talking about how humanity will be interacting with the moon in the coming decades and century, and to see how our kind of human society expands out into space. And it's really interesting too what Joyful was saying, how so many people connect to astronomy in so many different ways, in ways that we often just don't understand. As people who are really interested in astronomy, obviously, because we're working in it actively. But to see, just kind of, every day people you'd see on the street, people you meet in the grocery store, out on the sidewalk while you're walking your dog, and they have some kind of connection to astronomy, and it's something that I think we take advantage of, and not something that we might think of as as typical. But astronomy speaks to something very human in all of us, and it's our maybe kind of primordial love and desire to look up at the night sky and just be completely confounded by how beautiful and amazing it is. And the wonder and awe that we feel changes the way that we think, and it changes the way that we understand ourselves and our perspective. And it's a really amazing experience to be able to sit and just with the rest of humanity, with 6 billion people, as Joyful said, all looking up and looking at the same phenomenon. And this like shared collective experience is a really beautiful thing. And that's, something at the Office for Astronomy Outreach. You got to get your prepositions right. It's really important. It's something that we really strive to do, to bring people together through astronomy and to engage people everywhere they are with astronomy in as many different ways as we possibly can. And that's one of the things that we have, or if I can put in a shameless plug for our event that's happening in a couple of weeks, the 100 Hours of Astronomy event will be taking place from the 2nd to the 5th of October. And it's a 100-hour marathon of events just kind of exactly like this, people coming together to learn about astronomy, to share their connections with astronomy, with their communities, with the global community. And we'll be doing a 24-hour live stream out of Akashi Planetarium in Japan, close to Osaka. And it's the oldest functioning planetarium in Japan. And we're just celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the planetarium, but we're also celebrating the our connection to the night sky and our connection to astronomy. And so, that's ultimately, I think, what we're all here to do. And it's a really great pleasure to be here with you all. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Kelly. And it just reminds us about the ways. I mean, sometimes people say, well, what's the point of astronomy? And you can actually already see in multiple ways in which astronomy actually gets connected and how it gets used in a positive way. And on that note, I would actually use it in a very specific way, and that is, well, when we think about sort of like the looking at the sky as shared sky, I think there's nobody who shares the sky more, sort of like, not just literally, but sort of like thinking about it. Do we share the sky in the same way? And that is between Pakistan and India. And I thought this would be a terrific opportunity to also have astronomers across the borders. They are seeing the same moon. And they are seeing the same moon at the same time. And I mean, in terms of sort of like, there is a little bit of a time difference, but other than that, it's okay. So let me first introduce Dr. Prajwal Shastri, you have been, I think, you sent me a thing that that you are seeing. There are some clouds over there. So Prajwal, if you can say a few words about shared sky.
Yeah, so the weather is not fantastic, but I did manage to get a glimpse of the copper moon for a couple of minutes. So that was nice. And there have been parts of India where people have seen both the partial eclipse and the copper moon. And there is a sliver of humanity in India who are actually trying to enjoy the eclipse and the beauty of it and taking pictures and posting on networks and so on. So that is good. However, we have, as people who are trying to say that the insights that astrophysics brings are for everyone, we have a huge task in India because there's a lot of very, very primitive sort of so-called interpretations, what we call as superstition and obscurantism, that is still, it's not just still floating around, it is actually being amplified by current media and so on and so forth. So even before we can raise awareness about these collective perspectives of the common legacy of humanity and so forth, we have a huge task to rebut and combat all these things. So, for example, at this moment, I'm in Bengaluru, which is a very big city, and it's only about 11:45. But for the last 2 hours, that is, ever since the eclipse began, the streets of Bangalore have gone quiet. Everybody has gone home. Nobody's on the streets because the eclipse is happening and they think it's harmful. So there are all these TV channels which are blaring that you should not eat food, you should throw away all your food, you should not do this, you should not do that, etc. I mean, it's pretty unimaginable and also laughable as to what is being propagated in public channels, people with broadcasting licenses, all of this. So there's that whole aspect that we have to deal with. But on the other side, when it comes to the main idea of this Zoom call, I fully agree with what Ram is saying, but I think it's really, really important for us to not accept that as just the way it is, but to build a bottom-up kind of movement to counter this problematic mindset that seems to be creeping in, that seems to think it's okay to exploit, for example, the moon for profit making and so on. So I would actually argue that when we talk about the quote unquote benefits of astrophysics for humanity, we should de-emphasize the material benefits, because they are, after all, just a small fraction of the whole, shall we say, investment, whether it's mental, intellectual, or monetary investment that happens into astrophysics. So I don't think we should use that to justify more astrophysics. I think we must think in sort of broader terms as to what astrophysics teaches us about our place in the universe, about the purpose of life, etc., what it really means for how we treat our planet. So these kinds of perspectives, I think, need to be emphasized. And of course, I think it's just beautiful that, people in India, people in Pakistan are looking at the same copper moon. This is an eclipse that's centered around South Asia. So that's beautiful. And some of us have been trying to emphasize that. In fact, I just made a video in my own language, which is Kannada, which got over 1,000 views, where I emphasize this business about 6 billion people looking at the same sky. And there's also a piece in the daily newspaper in Kannada which emphasizes the same thing. So all of that is good. And we need to see how we can build and strengthen that kind of thinking from bottom up, rather than just sort of accept that there is no legal framework. Maybe we need to create a legal framework or push for a legal framework. But the legal framework is just one component of trying to ensure a meaningful future legacy for humanity. So there are, unfortunately, unlike what you experienced in South Africa, there are not that many people watching the eclipse, but there are a few. So I would have, maybe tomorrow I can share a photograph of an iconic spot in Bangalore city where people gather every eclipse, not just to view the eclipse, but also to share a picnic during the eclipse, because this is like a one of the important ways to resist all the fake news that circulates about eclipses. But that's an example of a bottom-up sort of a movement. But the perspective needs to, deepen and go much beyond just combating all the fake news to asking questions like, what is our collective perspective? What should be our collective legacy? And what does it mean to have shared skies?
Well, thank you very much, Prajwal. And I think I think we will be posting the link to Prajwal's video in the comments. So that's going to be coming in, and you can actually look at that. And I should also mention that the use of copper moon, I think that's been pretty important, and Prajwal is responsible for popularizing that quite a bit. And because blood moon also, while it gets a lot of views and while it gets sort of like, a lot of people excited, it also leads to a lot of misconceptions. And there is no spoiler. There is no blood on the moon. So, but anyway, no, it's about copper moon. It's actually a really nice way of putting it. So, thank you very much. So let me move on from one place in India to another. We have Priya Hassan and Najam Hassan, and they are in Hyderabad. At least they usually are in Hyderabad. So I don't want to presume, because I'm usually in the US and I'm in Karachi. So I don't want to presume that. But Priya Hassan, if you can say a few words as well.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Salman. Oh, we are very much in India and in Hyderabad at present, so that's fine. So thank you so much. I'm really so happy to be part of this thing, because that's I think that's the most beautiful concept in astronomy, about a shared sky. And when you travel all over the world also, and you look up at the sky and you identify your good old constellations, it feels so nice, right? It kind of get your your anchors. So, in continuation to what Prajwal was saying, in India, I've been on many channels since morning. Instead, even now, I'm on some other channel. And the biggest problem in the most unpleasant part of that is they have literally, sometimes even more number of astrologers, etc., against scientists. And there's a kind of a debate going on, which I don't think is very healthy also, because I somehow get the feeling that these media channels are kind of promoting what the astrologers are saying, because that's what people want to hear. And it's absurd, the kind of superstitions that people have about the eclipse. It's like absurd, and the problem is that they give very logical statements. They say that the moon is passing from a no moon to a full moon phase, so it's doing what is done in 28 days in 2 hours or 3 hours. So you're getting older by 28 days in these 2 hours, which are going to happen now. And there's some absurd kind of things. Instead, just now we actually paused at the point where one of the astrologers said that all the problems that are happening at present with tariffs and the US and Russia and China and India is all because of this very eclipse. And therefore, these problems have started 15 days ago, and they'll continue for the next 15 days. And, the tariffs, all these things, this is like now peaking. It's 50% tariff for India just now, because the eclipse is now here, So
also the Afghan earthquake.
Oh, yeah. And it was absurd. And even the newsreader asked her, so now tomorrow, what do you think? What will happen to the stock market? What will happen? She says, oh, the eclipse is still on. The effect is still for 15 days. So you can't expect it to change tomorrow. It's, still going to go on. And it's absurd. So initially, even it's no pleasure being in those programs. So you almost do not want to be in it. But then you think that there has to be a representation from the scientific community. You can't just opt to be quiet so that you don't have this. There has to be a conversation. But then the problem is there's not exactly a healthy conversation. I argued, what is the evidence? So she says, what do you mean by evidence? Don't you know what's happening? Look at the news. It's all the evidence that you need. So anyway, so that's the kind of problem we face. So I think that's a little sad that when you would like to talk about the science of the eclipse and beautiful things like that, you are stuck in these other issues, which are, like I said, not pleasant also to talk about. And so I think especially like in our country, there's a lot to be done in terms of in terms of superstitions, and getting people to get out of their mindsets, which actually the whole world saw when the pandemic took place. Everybody realized that almost there was no country who had their people thinking scientifically. And but I don't think people have learned much from that too. They're back to their usual things, and that's the thing. But yeah, it's beautiful and very nice. And I'll now let Najam talk, because otherwise I'll take all the time. Najam.
Yeah, hello. Hi, I'm Rajab here. So, like we all share the same sentiment, astronomy is a beautiful subject. and there's so much to learn from it. And time and again, we use opportunities to teach physics and maths through astronomy to people because it has a very strong appeal with young growing kids. Uh, exactly as Prajwal said, as we look out on the streets, there's a COVID-like atmosphere. There were very few people on the road because people are scared that going out during eclipse could create some inauspicious things and so on. So India is a land of contradictions. On one hand, we are doing extremely well in science and progressing well and landing on moon, the southern pole, and so on, so forth. But then there's a big chunk of people who still believe in superstition and other things. So very often, Priya, we get together and we organize events, say on an eclipse day, and we have an event where we encourage people to eat. We share biscuits and take pastries along and share and show them that nothing goes wrong if you eat food when it's eclipse. So, though it's a monsoon time in Hyderabad, but fortunately today the skies are not too bad, and we could get a glimpse of the red moon. And like Priya said, the channels on the TV are constantly kind of tilting towards superstition. They want to create a lot of interest in people about trying to link the share markets and the tariffs and so on to the eclipse occurring. But it's important that we reach out to sensible people and to the younger ones at least and show them that this phenomena is not just simple, but it's beautiful. And we all have to join together and see it. So I think there's been too much from the Indian side. So let's hear what's happening on other parts. Thank you for
Well,
giving me.
thank you very much, Najum, and I think this is an interesting point about countering misconceptions and things like that, and I think that we should do that. And I was just thinking, but you may have seen, I don't know if people have noticed, the lights keep on going in and out. And we were trying to organize an event outside, and then the clouds came over and then started to rain a few hours before. And I was also wondering, is it because of the eclipse or not? But I don't know yet. But then I heard that a shark bit the cable, internet cable. And so we were having some internet problems because apparently a shark bit the sort of like the cable near that affects Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and other places. So anyway, no, it's not. As a spoiler, no, it doesn't have anything to do with the eclipse. But I did wonder, wait a minute, is it me? So yes, I think misconceptions we have to tackle. But I would include. I think this has been perfect. I'm going to send it back to Roshan because there are astronomers again with the moon with them. Actually, Brian Mara is here from Kenya. I don't know. I didn't directly get a chance to talk before. If they want to say anything, and I feel awkward because I didn't talk to them before. So Brian, you want to? And if not, I'm going to move. I didn't want to put you on the spot. Okay.
Brian,
all right. So
are you with us? Would you like to unmute your microphone?
All right, that's okay. It is my fault because I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk directly before that. So the last thing I would say is something that Prajwal and Ram, also, in fact, everybody actually touched upon that, and that is about the future of the moon. I think that's a very, very serious issue, and we have to raise our voices. I mean, if we want to have a say, we have to actually raise our voices. And the example I use is with the artificial intelligence, AI. A lot of things are now to sort of people say, well, it's too late. Data has already been scrapped. Well, that is not the case for the moon yet. I don't know what the right decision is going to be, what the right position is going to be. But it cannot be made by just a handful of people leading space agencies of a handful of countries. That's the key point. And space agencies do not speak for everyone. That's to Pajwal's point. It has to be people's voices have to be made, because the moon is for everyone, and it is important to everyone. And today is showing that people actually are looking up, and in some places because of misconceptions they're not, but in general people are excited about it, and it's sacred to a lot of people as well, and we have to take those sentiments into account. But how do we do that? I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people here, in fact almost all of them, are part of the global south. And so far, there hasn't been any organized voice in terms of taking the voices of what do people in the global south think. And so we are thinking about having a conversation about that as a panel discussion, and not to solve this issue, but to start the conversation and to ask the right questions. I think we will start with that. There will be a lot of disagreements, but I think if people don't know what the issues are, then they don't know whether to say yes or no to a certain questions, let alone whether that question is even going to be posed to the most of the population of the earth. So here we are. The moon is important to the world. We have a population of over 8 billion. 6 billion are right now, over 6 billion are seeing the totality of the eclipse. And yet the future of the moon looks like or some people are arguing, can be made by a handful of space agencies and a handful of countries. So we have to raise our voice, and for that shared sky, we hope that is the framework we go, and then we look for it. So this is not the end of the conversation. This is the beginning. And I should mention one last thing before I hand it to Roshan. The next lunar eclipse in South Asia, I don't know, actually, I haven't looked at it, how far the width of it is. I think it's actually similar. Is going to be the total lunar eclipse on New Year's Eve, 2028. So if you have, I would start making plans. I looked at it that, and at least in Pakistan, it was around 9 or 10 or 11 p.m. I think a similar time on New Year's Eve in 2028. So I'm hoping we'll certainly have more things to say before that, but mark your calendar. Well, I would say thank you so much for all the guests that are here. We really appreciate it as part of Kainaat, and also we really appreciate it on part of everybody else who's watching. And thank you so much. Now, don't go away for the rest of the people. I'm going to give it back to Roshan, and he's going to show what the moon is doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Salman, and thank you to all the guests that have been here. Thank you for your time. We do have Felicitas from Kenya who is ready now. Felicitas, would you like to unmute and say a few words?
Hello, hi everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Welcome to the live stream.
Yeah, here in Kenya, we just our cloud cover just cleared, so we can finally see the eclipse as it's happening. We'll be able to share the live feed shortly. My name is Felicitas Masharia from Leo Sky Africa. It's a space-based company here in Kenya.
Thank you, Felicitas. Thank you very much. And we will be switching over to live stream of the moon now. I would like to thank our guests here. Again, thank you for your time. And again, as Dr. Salman pointed out, there is another eclipse coming. And let's think about that from now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have now resumed our views of the moon here, and this is the moon as seen from Lahore. Now we do have a guest from India, who also is ready with their telescope view. So if we can maybe add them to the meeting now. AJ Singh is with us here from India. AJ, can you hear us? AJ Singh, if you can hear me, you can please unmute your mic and maybe even turn on your camera or show us the moon, and we'd love to see what the moon looks like from your side. All right, so while we wait for AJ to connect, this is what the moon looks like here from Lahore, here in Lahore. I went outside to take a quick look, and I could not make out the moon anywhere in the sky. This is a 1 second exposure, and even after that much of a time, you can barely see the moon. But if you go outside, you just simply cannot find the full moon at this time in the sky. Again, AJ, if you can hear me, if you can maybe show us how the moon looks like from your side of the world. For everybody else who's watching us, thank you for sticking by. We'll be concluding this live stream in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So Nasir Khan is back with us. Nasir Khan is here from Quetta. Let's see Nasir's view. So this is Nasir's view from Quetta. Again, beautiful red crimson moon.
रोशान भाई कैसे हैं आप?
बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक. AJ, thank you for joining in.
Thank you. My laptop camera is not working. I don't know what is the issue. Can I join with my phone?
You can absolutely join with your phone. There are people watching you on this live stream. We'd love to see you.
Okay, let me. Can you just take me out from here? Okay, just wait.
We'll just keep looking at Nasir Khan's view from Quetta of the full moon here. So Nasir, आपको चांद सही नजर आ रहा है? आंख से देख सकते हैं आप?
जी हाँ, मैं आंख से भी देख सकता हूँ. मुझे अच्छा और ब्यूटीफुल नज़र आ रहा है. और जैसे पहले बिल्कुल डार्क और रेडिश नज़र आ रहा था, अभी थोड़ा क्योंकि इसे हल्का सा वाइट भी इसे साइडों से नज़र आ रहा है, क्योंकि इसे छोड़ कर जा रहा है. इसी वजह से अभी मुझे क्लियर ही नज़र आ रहा है.
बहुत अच्छी व्यू है. और हम देख सकते हैं कि एक साइड से जो नॉर्मल कलर्स हैं चांद के, ऐसा ऐसा वो ब्राइट होते चले जा रहे हैं. All right, and again a request for Felistus here also, who has joined us from Kenya. Felistus, we do unfortunately are short on time, so if you can maybe share the views from your end, that will be wonderful. All right, Roshan Nadeem, any other questions, comments, anything that's of interest?
There aren't really questions, but people just wanted to have a view of the moon, because most of the places in Pakistan are well cloudy. So Mr. Sam is saying Lahore is all cloudy. Help! So we also need that help.
We can certainly help you by waiting. Indeed, it has been very cloudy, very hazy, but to be able to see such views that Nasir is very kindly showing us here, I think that too makes it really amazing that we can just connect and join in on one platform and see eclipse, how it looks from multiple different cities across Pakistan and even abroad. So again, I'll request Felistus, if Felistus is here, if you can please share your live view quickly, because then we'll have to sign off. We'll also wait for AJ Singh from India to log in and share their views from Mohali. Nasir, thank you again very much. आपने बड़ी देर से आप हमारे साथ हैं throughout. Thank you again. आपके आसपास are there people in Quetta जो देख रहे हैं, या सब लोग छुप गए हैं eclipse की वजह से?
नहीं, अभी मैं खुद अकेला खड़ा हूँ और अपनी टेलीस्कोप से देख रहा हूँ. साथ में व्यूज बहुत अच्छे आ रहे हैं और साथ साथ में मच्छरों से लड़ाई भी हो रही है मेरे साथ, क्योंकि बार बार मुझे काट रहे हैं.
ओह, चले नहीं, अपना ख्याल रखेंगे. मच्छर वाला काम जो है ठीक है. चलें, we'll be concluding the live stream shortly now. So all right, so this is just a couple of final thoughts if you'd like to share. Anybody जो लोग हमें देख रहे हैं, if you'd like to share any thoughts before we end this live stream, any request, maybe नासिर से आपको रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं, if नासिर can zoom in, अगर कोई लाहौर की व्यू आप देखना चाहते हैं, अगर आप उसका zoom in या zoom out चाहते हैं, this is your time. और अगर चैट में आप ये भी बता सकें कि आप किस शहर से हैं, if you can maybe share the city from which you are joining in this live stream, that will be great.
So we have a comment on YouTube, and Naeem Qadir says, Roshan bhai looking through sea star.
जी बिल्कुल, I am looking through the sea star. In fact, let me share that view again. Thank you, Nasir. You can, Nasir, please take some rest now. I know you've been at it for the last 1.5 hours, but thank you, Nasir. Aapki views are absolutely stunning. So this is indeed the sea star right now that you're looking at on your screen, the very faint hazy moon. And friends, this is not dew on my camera. This is indeed how the sky looks right now. You can see here from this wide angle view, it's just a mess. All right, so again, thank you everybody. आप देख सकते हैं, this is as bright as I can make it. But yeah, this is just fantastic. This is the full moon. Otherwise, इतना bright होता है that you can't see. And as you saw from clear skies, you can actually still make out the red color, and you can start seeing how the moon is turning brighter from one edge here in the bottom edge, because the shadow is now moving away from the center of the moon. And eventually, in just a few minutes, the moon will start to regain its color, its original gray color. So this is exactly how the moon you see on the screen is exactly how it appears here in my background in this picture right here. So this is the copper blood moon that you're seeing here on your screen as well. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you like this. I hope we all can appreciate the fact that technology has allowed us to look at this beautiful eclipse. Although this was through haze and cloud and rain, but we did manage to get some decent views. And again, whenever you look at the moon next time, because this is, I mean, the sky is gonna get clear as soon as this eclipse is over. So next week, whenever you take a look at the moon, do appreciate the fact that we are a part, the earth, we're all part of this light and shadow, this game that enables so many stories, so many folklore stories. That is what makes it a very human experience. So it's not just science, it's culture, it's our folklore.